What's going on, yo? Welcome back to Last Week in the NBA, the show where I give you a recap on everything that happened last week in basketball. Let's jump into it. And where does that bring us but back to the spreadsheets? It always brings us back to the spreadsheets on this channel. It just always does. This is the Last Week in the NBA tracker, something that I've built to kind of help illustrate this series and everything. We're going to talk about everything. The top performers of this last week, some of them you can see over here. We're going to look around the association to see who's leading in other categories. We've got some news and highlights to cover, some rookie reports, some standing updates, everything in between. All right, let's start it off with the highlights of last week, or the top performers of last week, because there was a lot of them. If you guys see right here, looking over at like our points per game last week, we had how many people here in the top? Like we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that averaged 30 or more points last week. Like, I know the offense is getting kind of crazy in the NBA and it continues to kind of just go up and up and up and up, but it's still incredible like how much like usage guys get and things like that. But anyway, let's talk about the first guy this week. It's Nikola Jokic. Now, look, I normally try to do something a little bit more creative for like our players of the week and stuff like that. And mind you, there's 3 other ones, right? One of them isn't even on this list this week, and I just kind of wanted to point him out more so. But Jokic was so dominant this week, and he continues to be so dominant this year, it's just not even funny. 36.5 points per game. That number itself is crazy, but 11 assists, 16 and a half rebounds, 2 steals, and like this was a poor shooting week for him, all said and done. For his standards, I mean, we can pull up Jokic over here and like, I mean, he's leading the NBA in 3-point shooting. He's super efficient from everywhere else. He's been awesome this whole season. By the way, I added like a minutes per game thing over here just because I figured that's good context for everything. But like Jokic is just on another planet right now. I mean, he's getting contribution from other guys on the team. I mean, we can talk about like Aaron Gordon, right, who's having a pretty good season all said and done. Jamal Murray's been a little bit kind of like iffy this season, a little bit inconsistent at times, maybe still dealing with some injuries. Michael Porter Jr. has been really good for them this season, right? We see the numbers there. It's just the bench for the Denver Nuggets, right? Is can we get anything out of the bench? Honestly, Russell Westbrook, since he's been starting as of late, has been really good. I know the efficiency numbers aren't all that great, but as of late, it's been really good. Like, what was Russell Westbrook even just this last week? Yeah, 12 points, 8 assists, almost 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Like, absolutely insane for the Denver Nuggets, man. It's been awesome for them. Next guy I want to highlight is actually number 2 on the list this week, and that's CJ McCollum. So CJ McCollum in this last week, 35 points per game. This was over 3 games, right? Just about 4 assists, 3 rebounds, shot the shit out of the basketball, right? 54% from 3, 57% from the field. That's amazing, right? Now, a lot of this was because he had a 50-point game this week, which is super cool, right? CJ McCollum's always been a bucket getter in this league. Like, it's only a matter of time, really, before CJ was going to have like a 50-point game, right? It's just how good of a basketball player he is. But I think it's important to just like take a look at CJ McCollum this season. Like 23 points per game this year. And given there's been a lot of players in and out and stuff, so a lot of like the individual stats for the Pelicans are just kind of all over the place because they've never had a true rotation. But CJ McCollum's still an incredibly valuable player. And I know that a lot of people are like, are the Pelicans going to move him? Is he a missing piece to kind of help some of these blockbuster trades go through because he makes a considerable amount of money, right? CJ McCollum could still be a really valuable player to somebody. Like if, let's just say, Detroit has to take on a bad contract somewhere in like a 3-team trade and they take on like a CJ McCollum or something, that could be a great addition to like a younger team like that. Because I mean, we all know CJ's a really valuable veteran player. And like I said, defensively, you're not going to get a ton out of him, but you still get a really good scorer, a guy that can play with or without the basketball, and just a good leader. Like, if you're a younger team, I'd sign up for a CJ McCollum, man. I think it's going to help you out a ton in the long run. So shout out the Pelicans, man. Shout out CJ. Yeah, great to see the vet still out there killing it. Next guy I want to point out, and this feels like another generic one this week, but Karl Anthony Towns, man, leading the league in rebounds right now for anybody that's played at least 25 games. If I were to eliminate this qualifier here, it's actually still him. So, okay, he just is the leader in rebounds per game right now. But Karl Anthony Towns this last week, 31 points per game, 4 assists, 18 rebounds, a steal and a half. Defense, always going to be questionable with him, but 58% from the field, 37% from 3. I mean, we can pull up Cat for this entire season. It's just been nuts. 25 points, 14 rebounds, 44% from 3. Ever since being traded from the Timberwolves, we've seen that, yes, the Timberwolves are really, really bad at running offense, and now that he's in a system that actually is good and makes sense, and he's got other good players around him, right? He is thriving. And yes, he's playing quite a few minutes per game right now. Like 35 minutes is a lot for a center. He played 37 minutes per game this last week. That's pretty insane. But something like I want to give Cat a lot of credit for that I hadn't always seen out of him is like he's just like straight up dogging people now. Like he's playing with a ton of attitude, a ton of physicalness. Like it's like, don't get me wrong, he's still getting those catch and just like fire 3-pointers that he can make. He's probably one of the best big men shooters, if not the best of all time, like he said. But also there's just sometimes where he's like, I'm putting the ball on the ground, I'm putting a shoulder into you, and you're gonna move. And then he's like getting close to the rim and he's like, all right, I'm gonna stop now and I'm going up and putting you in the rim right now. And he's talking shit, being physical. Like, again, defense is what it is. He's never been good at it. It's just not going to be, well, I shouldn't say that. Perimeter defense, actually pretty solid at. Being a big man and being a defender, not necessarily his thing, right? Not a great rim protector or anything like that. If anything, he's one of the worst rim defenders in the NBA. But Cat and everything he's doing, man, he's in MVP conversations. Unfortunately, the only conversation to have is Jokic, but Cat is having a phenomenal season. So shout out Bodega Cat, man. All right, and the last guy I want to bring up here actually isn't in our top 20 list, which I haven't done that before this season. I always try to grab somebody out of the top 20 in terms of like scores this last week, but I want to bring up Evan Mobley here. 20 points per game, 2 assists, 7, almost 8 rebounds per game, almost 2 blocks, shot 43% from 3, close to 60% from the field. He was a plus 15 overall, and he did all this in under 30 minutes a game. So I just want to kind of give a shout out to Evan Mobley, maybe more so than anything, just because like he's had such a good season this year, and like Kenny has done such a good job in like getting something out of him, because we're all wondering, when is Evan Mobley going to take that next leap, right? When is he going to up the aggressiveness and everything? And on the season, 19 points a game, mind you, playing with 2 guys in Darius Garland here, who's averaging 20, Donovan Mitchell right here, who's averaging 23, Karis LeVert here, that's averaging 11, 12 points per game, right? And you have like a Jared Allen that is playing at a prominent position as well, scoring like 14 a game. So you take a look at Mobley's numbers here, like 19 points, 3 assists, 9 rebounds, right? A block and a half a game, shooting crazy from the field, right? These are insane percentages. It's been so cool to see him be more aggressive. Like he's not hesitating from 3 anymore. He's cutting to the hoop when the other guys are creating. He's just dunking on people. There's times where he gets the ball in the high post. He's hitting people with some jabs, getting to the middle of the court, using that length to get over people. It's really, really cool to see like the growth and everything. I think it's a good reminder that you need to be patient with people, right? When these guys come in as like 18-year-olds, they can't all be Luka Doncic and dominate right away. I know so many of you on the internet want to write people off after like 2 seasons. Now look, I'll be the first to tell you, like, by the end of a second season, I want to see certain efficiencies and certain habits start to drop off. That doesn't mean you're a stud right away, though. I mean, look, how many years has Jason Tatum been in the league now? And now, like, you know, he won the championship, right? And he did all these other things. Not to say that he wasn't achieving a ton of stuff beforehand, but like, you know, it took him until last year to kind of really put it all together and have like a full, complete run at the end of the day, where at least I felt like his game was pretty just like rock solid the entire time. So it takes a long time to do this, y'all. It takes a long time. It's hard to get good at this stuff when everybody else is this good. So shout out Mobley, man. But anyway, let's look around the rest of the league. Alrighty, as a reminder for you guys, to qualify for our top statistical categories, you need to have played in at least 25 games up to this point. And for the shooting, you need to take at least 5 shots per game and at least 3 3-pointers to qualify for each of the categories down here below. So assists per game, Trae Young still up on top. Jokic there is number 2, is crazy. Cade Cunningham continues to dominate basketball as of late. It's great that we finally get to see how good that he is now that he's healthy and everything. LeBron, keep doing LeBron things. Tyrese Halliburton, we're all familiar with his game and how good he is passing. He's been starting to get a little bit more aggressive as of late as well. I mean, if we look at Tyrese Halliburton here for the year, at least he's back up to like league average for threes. And he's up to like 18 points, 8, 9 assists. I mean, that's pretty crazy numbers in and of itself. So we have to give him some credit for that. Looking at the rebounds, we talked about Cat and everything that he does on the offensive side, but also the rebounding, super important. Sabonis, always going to grab a ton of rebounds. He's super aggressive for that. Jokic, because he's in everything. Ivica Zubac, who is just having such a dominant season overall. It's been insane to see everything that he's been able to do. I mean, I'll pull up Big Zoo really quick just cause, but 15 points, 12 and a half rebounds, shooting 61.5% from the field. He's one of the best centers in basketball at this point. And then Anthony Davis as well. Not a surprise at all. Steals per game, Dyson Daniels, nobody's going to catch him. He's just a steal machine. Again, if he could shoot a 3, it'd be great. You got Tyrese Maxey there. And then we have 3 Thunder players. Look at this. 2 steals a game, for Shea, 1.8 for Jalen Williams, and 1.8 for Cason Wallace. When Alex Caruso got traded here, we were like, this team's going to be disgusting defensively. Because here's another thing I want to point out to you guys. What about Lou Dort, such a good defender, 1.2 steals per game? And then you're like, well, what about Alex Caruso? He's actually at 1.9, but he doesn't have enough games to qualify for our thing. He's got 20 right now, so if I were to change this to 20, then all of a sudden, oh, there's other guys here. So, okay, well, Luka and Tari Eason are also in on that apparently. So just know the games to qualify thing, it tells a little bit more of a story, right? But Alex Caruso, 1.9 steals per game as well. That's a lot of steals that this team is forcing. I mean, what about guys like Aaron Wiggins? I actually don't know the answer to that one, but I mean, he's almost getting a steal a game, right? I mean, that's pretty nuts in and of itself. Is there another player that I'm missing? Like, who else would be like on the perimeter? I guess like Isaiah Joe or something. I mean, he's close to a steal a game too. Like, Christ, man. Christ, like Hartenstein's obviously like he's not going to be as involved with that type of stuff, but nonetheless, like what a crazy defensive effort the Thunder give. Blocks per game, Wemby is just on another planet just as a player in and of itself. Is Wemby a top 5 player in the league at this point? Just be real with me. Like, leave me a comment down below. This is a reminder, like, subscribe, and comment. I respond to every single comment to my YouTube channel, so if you leave one, I will reply. But let me know, is Victor that good at this point? I won't tell you no, so you just let me know. But again, we're not used to second-year players being that good already. It doesn't happen very often. Don't hold people to Wemby's standard. That's not fair. Walker Kessler, again, awesome defensive player. Anthony Davis as well. Anthony Davis's shooting numbers just have not been where they were at the start of the season, unfortunately. So dropping down a little bit there. But Miles Turner, always right, and Brook Lopez, always. We kind of figured that those guys, the field goal percentage, the two Mavericks guys continue to be at the top here. Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. Walker Kessler, again, just being super effective for the Utah Jazz. He's not getting traded. I know I see trade rumors of him all the time. They're not touching him. Jalen Duren. It's been nice to see the Pistons like winning and Jalen Duren like actually kind of getting to shine a little bit more. I think it's really cool. Here's a quick side point. We were talking about this in the Discord. Go join the Discord if you haven't. Links down in the description below. If you're not on there already, you should. My Discord is literally blowing up all hours of the day at this point, so people are always talking hoops, and we'd love to have you there. But somebody posted like an interview of like Anthony Simons or whatever, and Anthony Simons, I'll pull him up here just so that you guys can see who we're talking about and everything. Here's Anthony Simons for the Portland Trailblazers. Been involved in some trade rumors and stuff this year. Younger guy, good offensive basketball player, no doubt. He's like, it's really sucked just losing all the time. It's really sucked losing all the time. And he's kind of talked about how he's like, look, I've been kind of afraid to like ask for a trade and stuff like that, because like I don't want people to like look at me as like a problem and things like that. But like it's a struggle for these guys, and like there's gonna be some people on the internet that are like, oh, the mental health of the millionaires and everything. It's like, look, y'all, money can get rid of certain problems. It can, but when your job at some point is literally to go on TV and to lose at something that you take a lot of pride in, when you've won probably everything your entire life, you just have, right? And then you just go out and you just get your butt kicked all the time, and people make fun of you on social media and stuff. While maybe it doesn't bother all of us, and you say, look, for millions of dollars, yeah, I'll deal with that. And like they'll take that every single time rather than working your 9-to-5 job. That's totally fair. I realized how blessed of a position I have for my business, and that I just get to do YouTube for fun and stuff, because like it's a blessing. But realize that the play of these guys and losing all the time does affect them. Like, it makes it harder to lock in every single game. And that's what I tried to tell people about like Jalen Duren. I'm like, this dude was in a really crappy situation in college and in the NBA, where it's just like, I just lose all the time and there's chaos around me and nobody knows what they're doing all the time. Like, yeah, you know what? It's hard for me to give a big effort every night, because it just kind of sucks, right? So it's been nice to see winning some games is what leads to winning some more games. It does. Like, that's good for the culture and stuff. Good to see Jalen Duren having a good season. Jared Allen, again, always in that spot. Good for him. 3-point percentage leaders, Jokic. Jokic is everywhere. Karis LeVert, again, found the 3-point stroke this year. It's been awesome. AJ Green, he's a sniper. Torian Prince, the other Bucks players, they're lighting it up for them. And then Zach LaVine has slid in here. Zach LaVine has been on fire, man. He can hit a shot from anywhere. I'll continue to tell people about Zach LaVine this year. And like, I'm a Bulls fan, right? So I'm a little bit biased, but like I'll continue to say Zach LaVine's one of the best like 5 or 6 offensive players in basketball. There's just nothing you can do to stop him offensively. He can score from anywhere. He's too athletic. He's too quick. Like he sees the floor. He can handle the rock incredibly well. He's too talented. I mean, him and Vucevic have been awesome this season. It's just the team can't really play any defense, and it's just a weirdly constructed team. And so is what it is. But hopefully they get a chance to shine somewhere in the playoffs, because we deserve to have a Zach LaVine and a Vucevic show up somewhere in the playoffs with these kind of numbers. And I'm willing to bet Vucevic is probably going to end up on Golden State at this point, would be my bet. It just seems like that needs to happen, and I don't imagine the Warriors not doing something. I don't know what that trade will actually look like, if the Bulls are going to end up with like a Kuminga or something like that, but I mean, Kuminga is at least like going up a little bit as of late. I mean, the percentages for the year are still obviously kind of like bleh, and the way he scores is still kind of like bleh, but Kuminga this like last week, I mean 17 points and he's shooting well from 3 and everything, so I guess we take that. But yeah, no, Zach LaVine and the Bulls playing well. It was a fun win last night too, but we'll talk about that more in the news and highlights now. All right, y'all, first bit of news right here. We got a scrap right here. Tyler Hero and Amen Thompson. He said, what you say? Get thrown. Oh, and an all-out brawl. I'm a sucker for the fights and everything. I think more fights should happen. I think it's fun. I know people will be like, it's not advertiser friendly and everything. I don't care. It's more fun. All of us like it more. It's cool that in hockey they just like let them fight it out and everything. And now, look, being a guy that's been at a pretty high level in basketball, I used to get in fights with my teammates like every single week. It's cool. It happens all the time internally, right? It just happens. On the court when it happens, that's awesome. And this one right here for Amen Thompson and Tyler Hero seemed like they were really getting under each other's skin. So Hero, he's trying to like V-cut, get off of him. Thompson's a little bit annoyed that he's being pushed and everything. But I want to break down this fight a little bit more for y'all. As someone that's been in a few scraps growing up, right? The way I grew up, there was a lot of scraps, right? It's just how it was. So Thompson is pulling him towards him. He's dogging him right now. This is my breakdown of a fight right now. Absolutely dogging dude. And then boom, Hero just allows himself to get tossed over like some dirty pants or something you just ripped off after a long day's work. Tyler's like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that, because that's kind of how Tyler Hero is a little bit. All right, it's fine. I'm not fighting Tyler Hero, but like, look, is what it is. And then he gets up and he does the little bounce like, ooh, I'm mad, like after your parents just got done whooping you or something and you were in your room and you just get like heated afterwards by yourself. That's that's what Tyler Hero got. And then he bounces on the outside, doesn't get into it. And look, there'll be people that say like, look, he was being smart, he didn't want to get kicked out of the game, he's important to the team. Totally fair. You're also kind of a bitch for not getting back in it. Just saying so. It's all good. You don't have to. It's not a requirement at the end of the day, but I'm thinking it. I'm thinking it a little bit. And then like Amen's like, yeah, you don't want this smoke. I just ragdolled your ass. Like, see, like you can't do the whole like hold me back thing after you just got thrown. You can't do that. Okay, I don't need to break down this fight too much more, but I want to shout out Terry Rozier, who is the realest teammate, not being in the game right now. And then watch this. He gets thrown. Terry Rozier, scary Terry. Like, that's a good teammate right there. He goes right off the bench, swings, right? That's exactly what you want out of a teammate. I can't tell you how many times, like growing up, I was in basketball games and like something like this happened. Like someone gets thrown or something crazy happens, someone throws something, whole bench clears instantly. Those are your teammates. The ones that don't, I don't trust those boys. I don't trust them. But all right, I don't need to break this down too much more. Going on to some not as fun news. With this one, Jaden Ivey looks like he might be done for the year. He has a broken fibula, and this is really unfortunate. It was kind of a gross injury, and he like collided with Cole Anthony and stuff in a Magic game. Jaden Ivey was having a nice season, man. This is what I'm saying. You get to these guys who they're starting to figure out their game a little bit now, right? And the Pistons who are making some growth this year, and they're using these young guys, and we're seeing some development in them. That's awesome. I mean, 17, almost 18 points per game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting good from 3. The field goal percentage is kind of like, meh, it's not the greatest, but a lot of big strides from this year. Now the rest of the season's gone, and that just sucks. And the teammates were really emotional about it. It sucks. You can tell he was an important member to their team. So I know they're saying that they might get him back this year. We'll see, right? We'll see. It's so hard. It's so hard. So man, shout out Jaden Ivey, man. We wish him the best. And more injury news, unfortunately, with Jabari Smith Jr. Being out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured hand. So I'm bringing this one up a little bit too because, like, look, Houston's really, really good. Jabari Smith is a former number 2 overall pick from just 3 years ago now. And, it hasn't been the easiest for him so far. And I want to try to bring a little bit of hope to this. So Jabari Smith, mind you, he's on a very good basketball team, but 12 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and those are solid numbers, a block a game. He's shooting league average from 3, not very good from the field, and defensively is kind of where he was supposed to really shine, and it hasn't even really been that great. He's never out of position. He just hasn't really been that impactful this season. I mean, we can look here. I have my estimated plus minus things up for a reason. So if we go find Jabari Smith right here, actually. So Jabari Smith, and for those of you that don't know, this is estimated plus minus. It's a little bit different than how actual plus minus works. Actually, it's much more complicated. And basically, this is how you can get a ranking of offensive and defensive players. And you're just going to have to trust me that some really high level statistics. This is the only website I've found that actually calculates this stuff outside of my business. So kind of cool. You guys can check it out if you want. But Jabari Smith right here is a minus 0.1 on offense, which puts him in the 64th percentile. So he's better than average offensively, but not great. And defensively, he's a minus 0.7, which puts him in almost the 30th percentile. So actually pretty bad defensively this year for a pretty good defensive team. So kind of interesting, but here's my hope. Jabari Smith's going to be out for a little bit. We're going to hope that guys like Tari Eason now are going to get a chance to shine a little bit more. I know a lot of Rockets fans have wanted to see him get some more burn and everything. Again, they got too many young guys that they're trying to develop at once, so you have to take these opportunities. But sometimes when you sit out for a little bit and you're just forced to watch basketball and you can't play it for a little bit, sometimes you get to learn some things, right? Because you see all the little things that you can't see otherwise while you're on the court or just watching film and stuff like that. So maybe Jabari Smith comes back a little bit rejuvenated. He's seen some things, he's learned some things. So I don't know. But all right, let's talk about the crazy stuff, right? Jimmy Butler, this whole week has been nuts for Mr. Butler. And look here, I mean, we can pull up Jimmy here. He's had a great season, all said and done. Is it the scoring and everything that we necessarily want? And does it look like he's just done with the Miami Heat? Yes. Has he made it clear? Yes, he requested the trade. We know, right? Jimmy Butler requested the trade. Everybody saw it. He had that one game where he just looked like he wanted to die the entire time. He looked so depressed. And then after the game, he was like, yeah, no, I'm never going to be happy here. It's just not going to happen, mostly because he didn't get the contract extension and everything. Pat Riley's kind of been on him about some things. And look, we've seen Pat Riley chase out everybody. Alonzo Mourning to Dwayne Wade to LeBron. It's happened to everyone, right? Jimmy Butler's going to be no exception. The Heat are probably looking and saying, we could pay this guy. We could. He has done more for this franchise than a lot of other people have. He just has. He's one of the best Miami Heat players of all time. There's just no question about that, everything that he's done for this team. And there's going to be some people that have stupid memories. They're like, what are you talking about? If you could sign up for the stretch that Jimmy Butler had with the Heat of going to the finals and conference finals like they did all the time with a kind of booty team that he drags every year, you take it no question. You take it no question. But the Heat don't want to sign up for an aging superstar at this point. And look, there's part of me that says, look, you just do it because that's the right thing to do and stuff. And this guy's worked his tail off for you this whole time. But the Heat say, look, we're not willing to pay you for what you've done in the past. It's not how it works for us. You're supposed to do that because we paid you, right? And that's fair as well. So I can't fault them for that. But point is, it's hard to trade him, right? And since then, he's actually been suspended as well because the Heat are like, yeah, you're kind of dogging it and everything. And look, maybe they're just trying to trade him or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to get him hurt or something like that, and that's why they suspended him. But he's also not getting paid, so that's expensive. But I know Butler's appealing that or whatever. So is it a for sure thing that he's going to get moved? Maybe not, but it sounds like they want to trade him before the suspension is even up and everything. So where is he going to go? Is it going to be the Phoenix Suns? We don't know. The Memphis Grizzlies seems like a really good one. I still think there's a way that you could do a Zion, Jimmy Butler with the Houston Rockets involved kind of three-way deal or something that could be kind of cool. I don't know. Insert any other team. I don't know who else really gets involved because I don't think you can even do a Jimmy Butler to a Milwaukee or something like that. I don't know. I know the Kings have been involved a little bit. The Thunder could go get anybody they want, really, just because they're in the best position out of anybody, but they seem more focused on adding another role player. So what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler? I don't know. For the meantime, he's suspended. It's causing the Heat a lot of problems internally. And look, that is a stressful thing for teams and stuff. It just is. I've been in locker rooms like this, and it is a little tense. I've happened to have been in without putting too much on, a pretty big locker room when a pretty big trade happens, and it's weird. It's interesting, right? It's just a little bit awkward, and I mean, I'm not a very awkward person, so I kind of just went about my business, but is what it is at the end of the day. So where's Jimmy Butler gonna go? You guys let me know, because I have no clue what's gonna happen. All the reports are saying, like, look, every team is struggling to make these trades work because the trade rules are so hard nowadays. Yep, that's all I have to say. But I hope he goes to Memphis personally. He feels like a Memphis dude. They could put together a solid trade package for him. I think it'd be kind of cool. So that's what I'm rooting for. On to the next one, LeBron James. I'm at the point with LeBron, right, where it's just enjoy everything about him, right? Just enjoy everything that he does at this point, because there's only so much time left. But he now has the most 30-point games in NBA history, passes Jordan. We don't need to say much else. LeBron is LeBron. He's one of the best ever. It's phenomenal, right? It's phenomenal. Just enjoy it. And then my GOAT, if you will, my GOAT. And do I actually mean that? No, but like this is kind of a sentimental one for me. Derrick Rose was honored at the Bulls game this weekend, and they announced that they're going to retire his jersey next year. Derrick Rose did a whole thing. He opened up like a flower shop and everything outside the United Center, like a roses shop, which is pretty cool. The mayor came in and said this is going to be Derrick Rose Day for forever, right? And now they're going to retire his jersey. And look, for those of you that didn't watch Derrick Rose growing up like I did, this guy was bigger than basketball. You know, I was watching all the social media commentary of people being like, they're retiring this guy who really just kind of had like 3.5 good years of like dominant basketball. And like, look, he had more good years than that. It's just, obviously it was like 3.5 years of pure dominance, right? Where he was just that dude. And I understand in a bubble, that's not enough to like retire someone's jersey, but you guys have to understand, this is one of those guys that was just bigger than basketball. Like, I can't tell you like how emotional like it just made me feel just to kind of like watch like all the highlights and everything again, and see all the players talk about him and the fans and like everything that he stood for in Chicago. Like, sports are an important thing at the end of the day, and they really mean a lot to people, especially struggling people and stuff that don't come from too much, maybe such as like myself, right? And so it just meant a lot to kind of have that idol growing up. I wanted to be Derrick Rose. I wore his shoes. I wore number 1. That's what I wanted to do. And then I realized I wasn't athletic enough, and I started mimicking Rajon Rondo a little bit more, and I became more of a passer. But he made me fall in love with basketball, and so it meant so much to see, and I'm glad that they're honoring him. And so I'm curious, who's the player that made you guys fall in love with basketball? Leave me a comment like that or something like that. Like, who did you see that you were like, wow, this is beautiful, right? Because I know that was the moment I had with Derrick Rose. And you know, one regret for you guys. This is just me talking a little bit more. I went to a decent amount of Bulls games growing up, not a ton, like not more than 10, but when I was a kid and Rose was on the team, I went to some games. I never saw Rose play once. He was out every single game. Even that one where it was like the 3rd game of the season, I think they were playing Cleveland or Miami or something like that? I can't remember. And literally the night before, he sprained both ankles in the 2nd game, and he missed 1 game, and I didn't get to see him. And I just wanted to see him play so bad in person. But I was at a Timberwolves game where they played the Grizzlies last year, and you know, Rose was on the Grizzlies, and I was sitting like right next to him on the bench. And I've never been like starstruck before, but I was just like, oh man, I didn't say a word to him because like, it doesn't matter, right? I don't need to. He's minding his own damn business, right? But to see even the Timberwolves fans like turn around and saying like, Rose, you're still the GOAT, man. You're still the GOAT. This dude means a lot to a lot of people. And so just wanted to give a shout out to Pooh Rose, man. He's that dude. But anyway, let's go on to the rookie report, y'all. Alrighty, I'm actually really, really excited for this rookie report because things are starting to pick up for this group a little bit, right? Starting to pick up a little bit, which is interesting. So we've got the minimum games played set to 25 right now, right? And you're going to see the list is starting to look a little bit different than how it was looking before. Now, look, like if we were to put this to 0, obviously Jared McCain enters back in, Jacoby Walter, who was out a lot of it, and Zach Edey, right? But we still have to put the minimum games qualified in to kind of give us a fair sample size of things. Like Zach Edey's going to catch up as long as he stays healthy. I doubt Walter will. And obviously Jared McCain, like, he's just going to be gone now, but we'll remember the season that he had, right? We totally can. But look at this, a new number 1 in Alex Sarr up here. A name that's been pretty ridiculed to start the season and everything. And look, the kid got drafted by the Wizards. Like, give him a damn break at the end of the day. But Sarr been hooping as of late. I mean, Hell, we can even just go to what happened to my taskbar settings. What's going on here? Okay, it went back down. That's good. Oh, and it's back up. Okay, I gotta fix that. All right, I fixed it. We're all good now. But Alex Sarr, just in this last week here, look at him here. 16 points per game, 7 rebounds, shooting well overall. No, that's a small sample size, right? At the end of the day, it's 3 games. But like the past couple weeks, we've been talking about how Alex Sarr has been like climbing. He was down here at like 8, and he's just been climbing. And now he's the number 1 scoring rookie when you put in the minimum games played and everything. And so Sarr playing elite defense the whole season, right? But now one of the big things is they're using him in like the pick and roll with Jordan Poole, who Jordan Poole's been hooping, as like the Wizards are still a joke and they're all over the place, right? But Poole and Sarr, they're cooking right now. So it's been nice to see him like really attacking the rim. He's been grabbing rebounds with some force and everything, going back up, dunking it. But it's the skill that I see when he gets the ball and he starts the break by himself. He glides down the court, like for how big he is at like 7 foot, and he can run like that and handle the rock. That's where I was saying, I'm like, that's the potential of this guy. It's incredible the athleticism and coordination that he has. You can turn him into something nice. Am I still saying he's going to be an all-star? No, I've never really seen that in him, but this is an incredibly talented kid, so shout out to him. Jalen Wells had a 30-point night the other night because he just sprayed from 3 the whole night. He just plays his role, plays it well. He can't really put the ball on the floor like great yet, but the 3-and-D of him is there. Jalen Wells, probably my number, I'm going to say 3. Rookie of the year as of right now. I'm going to give it to Missy still first, then Sarr, then Wells, just because. Stephon Castle, obviously, now that Vassell playing more, his role has dropped a little bit more, but had some good games recently, too, so shout out Stephon Castle. Reese Shea, still kind of trying to find himself. The efficiency isn't picking up, and again, we don't care about efficiency right now. It's great when efficiency's good as a rookie, like that's awesome, but if it's your rookie year and you're not shooting that great from the field, I kind of just don't give a shit. Like I always say, by the end of your second year, that's when I want to see things start to pick up a little bit. And I will do like a sophomore check-in video, I'm hoping kind of soon. So be on the lookout for that. But Reese Shea, he's figuring it out, man. And it's a weird system, so we'll give him some time. Dalton Connect, I've been saying for a while, I feel like Connect should be starting. Max Christie's been playing such good defense as of late. I'm kind of on the Lakers side now because the defense is what's been winning them some games as of late. But I still think Connect should get a few more minutes, so that's just me. Again, Yves Missy, ultimate role player. He's basically Clint Capella already. Awesome, right? Sarr probably going to pass him soon, I'm going to guess, but I like what Missy's done. Bub Carrington, I'll continue to say, effort's really good. Dude's doing most of the right things on the court. Sometimes settles for shots that he probably shouldn't as a rookie. I'd like to see him get more to some floaters and stuff like that, but is what it is. It's just, it hasn't been great so far. And again, he's on the Wizards. It's hard. And I don't know. I just think we need to improve a couple things, but I like the effort that he's giving every night. So I like that. Oh, another thing that's been helping the Wizards out, just having a true point guard on the court in Brogdon at times, been helping out Sarr and like Bub Carrington just a little bit more with that. Tristan Da Silva has been moving up, and look, Suggs went down, so now there's another injury here. So let's pull up Mr. Da Silva here, and we can take a look at some of his numbers from this past week. 15 points this last week, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal, shot 53% from 3 and 50% from the field. A big struggle for him this season hasn't been knowledge. Dude's known where to play this whole season. That's what you expect out of the older player, right? It's been the efficiency. Now he's back up to league average in terms of the 3-point shooting. Some of the other ones still a little bit down right now, but obviously been playing good as of late. He's been picking it up as of late, which is good. And again, the efficiency we don't care a ton about right now. But what was really interesting to me was seeing him kind of take over like some pick and roll ball handler opportunities this year. Like, is that really where you want him long term? Probably not, but he handled it pretty well. I was pretty impressed with him. So shout out Tristan Da Silva, man. We expected him to be a solid role player right away, and that's what he's being. Keyshawn George, I still struggle to watch him. I'm not quite sure what his role is in the NBA yet, but I don't know. We'll see. Ryan Dunn is creeping back up, which is cool. Obviously, he plays an important role for Phoenix, who's just struggling to hold their season together, and the defense is still awesome. AJ Mitchell, he's crawling up the list as well. He's really carving out a role as a backup guard for the Thunder. Surprise, surprise, Thunder draft someone. It works out. Efficient all the way around. He's even creating some things for himself. Super cool. Ron Holland, I'll keep saying he's trying out there. Dude is trying his ass off. It just looks gross right now. And that's fine, right? That's fine. Like, we knew it was going to be a project. Like, this is no surprise whatsoever. Can the Pistons develop him? And does it make sense to develop him with the rest of the team that you have? I don't know. But I love the effort he gives. He just doesn't know how to play basketball right now. Jamison Battle, good for him. Shoots the shit out of the basketball. Basically just makes 2 threes a game. Cool. Donovan Clingan doesn't get nearly enough minutes. The Portland Trailblazers don't know what they're doing. And then Mogbo. I still don't know if he's like playing good basketball this year or not. He plays such a weird style of basketball that I can't figure out what he's always doing out there. But like, it feels like he's being productive the whole time. So I don't know if he's just got me under a spell or what, but shout out Mogbo, man. Shout him out. Let's talk about some of the other lottery picks. Again, Reed Shepherd. Sorry, it's just not working right now. Send him down to the G League. I'm waiting for it, right? I'm waiting for it. Salon. I don't know. I feel like if we could just hit the ball handling this offseason, if we could hit some ball handling hard this offseason and like 1 to 2 creation moves, I feel like we've got something really good here. It's just all the puzzle pieces are there, and I knew this guy was going to take a long time to develop, right? I've said continuously, I think highest ceiling in the draft class is Salon. I see all the parts here that I could make something great out of. I know I could. I could turn this guy into like an all-star player. Give me enough time, I know I could do it. It's just, can the Hornets do it? I don't know, and I'm not saying I'm better than NBA teams. I promise you I'm not. I know I kind of just insinuated that as well, so I'm sorry. I'm contradicting myself. I don't want to come off as like too prestigious like that. It's just I see it, right? It's there, and I know what to work on. I know what I want to work on, so I want to train this kid. He looks really talented. So I don't know. Just wanted to bring that up. Rob Dillingham, I think, is hurt right now for like 1 to 2 weeks, but I'm not gonna lie, kind of lost faith in the Timberwolves in running their rotation and everything. They've ruined Naz Reid this season. The Randall thing is a joke. Anthony Edwards is taking, I guess, technically steps back, like after how great he looked in the Olympics and everything. Now you got him back on this team where he has to take like 12 3-pointers a game. It's just so fucking stupid. So I don't know. The Timberwolves piss me off a little bit with things. So just watch for that, right? Cody Williams, yeah, he's Cody Williams. That's it. Zach Edey, playing good basketball. He's back on the bench, which is probably where he should be. Nice gimmick player right now, and that's a good thing, right? He's got his niche, and he's killing it right now. So good for Zach Edey. That's exactly what we need you to do. And then, you know what? We'll do Buzelis first. Efforts solid. I'll give him that. Everything else, there's just a long way to go. He's raw. There's a long way to go, and he's raw. But Devin Carter finally got to play. After having shoulder surgery and everything, he got to play against his pops, who was coaching for the other team, which is pretty cool. Obviously, this is just like one game, so don't trip about it too much. But I know the Kings are excited to have Devin Carter back. He's been in some trade rumors as well, and I've seen some people being like, don't you dare trade Devin Carter. And it's like, look, you haven't seen that much of him. Depends on who you're getting, right? If you're getting someone really good, probably just shut the fuck up and take him. I want to shout out Khalil Ware, though. Is he going to sneak into this at some point? Because he doesn't hit the minimum games qualified to reach into here yet, but he's been killing it over this like last little stretch or whatever. Like, if I pull up Mr. Ware here, 13.5 points, 4 rebounds. He still gets tricked defensively a lot, and he gets moved a lot defensively, but shooting the shit out of the basketball this last week. So shout out Mr. Ware. Is there anyone else I really want to cover? I don't think so. No. When will Terrence Shannon Jr. get to play? I see so many Timberwolves fans saying at this point, they're like, I watch his G League highlights and he's so good. Why don't they play him? And look, if you're good in the G League, it doesn't necessarily mean you're good in the NBA. But yes, he's better than most of the players you're playing. Play him. I'm so serious. I will take him over Jaden McDaniels. I promise you he's better. I promise you. But, you know, is what it is. That's our rookie report. Let's go talk about the standings. All right, here we are at the standings. The Cavaliers are never going to lose another basketball game. They're just too good for everyone else. They're 30-4. Incredible. The Boston Celtics, after losing a couple weird games the previous week, kind of back on track this week. Good for them. The Knicks actually lost a couple of complicated ones in a row. Who else did they lose to? They lost to the Bulls. I was watching that game last night. I can't remember who the other team they lost to was, but 2 not so great wins. That's what's going to happen sometimes when you only play 5 basketball players, is what it is. It's been good that they have Shamet on the team now. I feel like he's good for them, and he kind of just keeps the ball moving, if nothing else. So I like the fit. It's going to happen every once in a while. They're having a great season. They're 24-12. Orlando Magic, everybody's sweetheart right now, even with Suggs down now, which do we have anything on Jalen Suggs? Like, do we know, like, what the injury is at this point? Leaves in a wheelchair may not be as bad as it seems. That's like the second time that's been the case for him this year. Jalen Suggs, you need to give me an idea of how injured you are when you get wheeled out of places. I'm kidding. But no. Magic just keep finding ways to win basketball games. Like, I've heard some things from within their staff and everything. They're like, look, we're pulling it out of the playbook, man. We're making it happen, and we're just saying grit it out for us, and the team's responding, so that's great. The Milwaukee Bucks just can't quite seem to get a run going now, so I don't know. It's frustrating. The Miami Heat, I get the feeling this could get ugly very, very quickly, so we'll see. Is this team going to start tearing things down? I don't know. The Atlanta Hawks, it's becoming hard for me to watch Trae Young play a little bit of basketball right now. Like, the passing and everything is cool. I don't know. Not feeling particularly excited about this group of people right now. DeAndre Hunter, that's been fun, and Dyson Daniels is cool. Clint Capella is awesome. Trade them. Just trade them all. I don't think you're going anywhere. The Pacers, are they starting to figure something out? We don't know. The Pistons winning a couple games in a row. They're in front of my Bulls even, almost to 500. This is a huge step for them. I'm low-key just rooting for the Pistons at this point. My Bulls just keep on losing for me because we don't get our draft pick this year otherwise. Well, maybe we just want to lose the pick or something like that. No, I want to roll the dice on Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. I want to roll the dice. The Sixers, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't understand what Joel Embiid's doing out there. It's a little bit concerning. I'm just not worried about this team. The Brooklyn Nets, hopefully I'm saying this as a Brooklyn Nets like fan, right? As what a Brooklyn Nets fan would say. Just keep losing basketball games. It's cool. D'Lo had a good first game for y'all, and then it kind of wasn't that great after that, but that's okay. The Raptors, yeah. They're the Raptors. I saw a post on social media that said, Dick can't fill the hole. And you're like, whoa, ABC, what'd you just say? Grady Dick's apparently like the worst finisher at the rim like this whole season. And that shit made me laugh so hard. The Charlotte Hornets are very bad at basketball, not getting any better. Washington Wizards, somehow worse still. So, yep, there you go. Over to the West, the Thunder continued with just win after win after win. Since losing in the Cup, I don't think they've lost. They just keep going. Technically, that game didn't count against their record, so I guess it's probably just before then even. So shout out the Thunder, man. The Houston Rockets, again, no Jabari Smith for a little bit. How do they respond? I'll be curious to see if another young guy gets a chance to step up. The Grizzlies, are they going to make some sort of deal? They have a lot of extra assets on this team, man, and they've been swinging and missing on a couple of things as of late. Maybe you just got to throw the book at the Heat and make it happen. That's what I'm going to say at this point, because you have a really talented group. The Nuggets and Jokic just keep figuring it out. Can they add some depth to their team? We'll see. The Lakers are trying, man. They're 20-14, which is like, that's good. They're good. Can this team win a championship? How's Dorian Finney-Smith been since being there? I know he's not doing anything like that crazy, and I know we're not expecting him necessarily to do anything that crazy, but 4 points, not shooting the ball. I know his first game was rough. 3.7 rebounds, meh. Plus minus is good. So I guess you take that and that skewed statistic. The Dallas Mavericks, everybody's hurt. Just try to hold on, Mavericks team. This is one of the best teams in the NBA if healthy. Just try to hold on. The Clippers, Kawhi played his first game back. Wasn't that fun? Let's go take a look at Mr. Kawhi really quick. Kawhi Leonard played his first game last night, and he's just, someone on the Discord said, no, he's just a robot. Like, he doesn't need to get warmed up or anything. He just needs to go in for repairs every once in a while. Because, man, he came on the court, and he just looked like he'd never been gone. He's just one of those dudes that's a hooper. It's like Durant. Durant can miss 2 years in a row and just come back out on the court and drop 30 right away. Obviously, he didn't drop 30, but he looked more than comfortable last night. So, yeah, shout out Kawhi, man. We'll see where the Clippers go, man. Let's just see what they can do, I guess. The Warriors, Curry's either hitting everything or missing everything right now, so there you go. Wemby's super dominant, but they still can't win every game because, look, the roster's not that good. Vassell's fun. He's a little bit unpredictable. Chris Paul's good still. Like, Sohan's interesting. Like, Castle's still a rookie. Wemby's obviously elite, but this team's still just not that good, so anything they accomplish this year is just him dragging them at the end of the day. The Timberwolves, hard to watch at this point. Not going to lie. This was a disaster. This Karl Anthony Towns thing was just a disaster for them. I'm sorry, and it's just why'd you take the rookies this year? Well, I understand business wise why you took the rookies this year, but oh my god, I hope they can find a way to get rid of Randall. I really, really do, because like just being living in Minneapolis, I'd like to see them be better. The Kings, are they going to make a desperation move after firing the coach last week? Maybe. I don't know. It seems like that'd be the next irrational thing for them to do. So I guess we'll see there. The Suns. Oh boy, it's getting bad for the Suns because nobody's ever healthy on this team anymore. So yeah, we'll see. The Trailblazers just piss me off. I don't like to watch them play basketball. I don't mind watching the Jazz play basketball. Keontae George is really bad at defense, but overall, like, they play fine basketball. They're just not very good. So are they going to get involved in any trades whatsoever? Because they got some valuable pieces. And then the Pelicans. Are they the worst team in basketball? Yep, that they are. So there you go. Maybe you get Cooper Flag and you trade Zion and you get the whole first pick thing again. So yeah, there you go. But hey, that's last week in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think down below as always. And hey, I'm going to do a shorter intro for video retention purposes. Thanks so much. Bye.